What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Now, about a month ago, we started making videos where I gave you my raid weapon loadout recommendations, what I thought the best options were for dealing with each stage of the raid. We started off on the Vault of Glass, and I know that this is the third time that Crota's around, but it's actually the first time I got to give my recommendations for this, so I'm going to do this and close out this series with Crota. Again, these are my personal favorite recommendations. You might have some different opinions, and I absolutely want to hear about those. So for the Thrall pits, we're starting off with the Telesto. Telesto is really interesting because I don't believe that Telesto is really high on people's radars. I don't think anybody even thinks about or imagines the Telesto for the Thrall pit encounter, but it's like it's perfectly, absolutely made for this because it gives you area of effect explosions that don't hurt you, that speed you up whenever you get a kill, and it has lightweight on it, and it can generate orbs for your teammates. That's pretty much everything. Now, I know the go-to weapon for most people is the Mida multi-tool, but if you're rocking out an exotic, at least give Telesto a try. Then for your primary option, put something on that has explosive rounds or Firefly. Fatebringer is always a good choice. I've got some scout rifles with that you could go ahead and utilize. The Necrochasm, that would be a lot of fun as well. But the Telesto is pretty much bread and butter, everything that you want for getting through the Thrall pits. For my heavy weapon, it's pretty wide open, but I like to just use the Quillam's Terminus. That heavy machine gun from King's Fall, that does a really nice job, and it's solar. That will help me just defeat the witches much easier. So number one recommendation for the Thrall pits is Telesto. Moving on to the second stage, this one is pretty wide open, but I look at it if I want to prepare for the next stage whenever we're running through the little Thrall hallway. For starters, for your primary weapon, again, something that hits strong and has Firefly, that works pretty well, so a good scout rifle will be your best friend. You could rock out a sniper or a full auto shotgun, and then a Gjallarhorn, a raise lighter, or keep on your Quillam's Terminus. If I want to prepare for the next stage, I've got my Gjallarhorn and a sniper rifle on. It really all depends. This stage isn't too weapon dependent, but if you're on the other side, if you happen to go on the other side and you have to hold the plates where you've got the slams and you've got the sword over on the other side of the bridge, if you're on the left hand side of that, then you might want something that does a little bit of solar damage and can hit from a bit of a range, because the left side plate, for some reason, that's pretty much the only area where enemies spawn, and there are wizards that come out, so you really want to be able to take care of them. So Gjallarhorn absolutely would work, but if you find yourself running low on heavy ammo all the time, then maybe have that Quillam's Terminus, because that can definitely deal with the witches at a range, or if you're a great sniper, have your sniper rifle with a solar burn, that will work out too. And whenever I talk about sniper rifles, I've always got the Ex Machina on, but pretty much my recommendation always is 1,000-yard stare impact class or better. Anything lower and you're just wasting shots and not dealing as much damage as you should be dealing in a PvE encounter. Now, I mentioned that if I'm preparing for the next stage, I've got a sniper and Gjallarhorn on, and that's because if I've already got these things ready to go, chances are I've picked up ammo for them, and I'm fully locked and loaded because you don't have much time to waste. As soon as you finish that encounter, you can get started on the Thrallway. Now, you might not even fire off a shot. You might just be the runner, because all you need is one person to get through this gateway in order for your whole team to go through and get the chest. So right here, I didn't fire anything off, but it's really good that I had people with Gjallarhorns and or sniper rifles behind me to deal with those shriekers, and then I can get in here and just open up the doorway. That's all it takes for this encounter. One nice runner, and then everybody else behind just dealing with everything. If you get killed by a shrieker, well, that's pretty unlucky. Of course, I'm on my solar warlock right here, so I could always pop a self-res. Somebody that's a really great Titan skater will always get through here, no problem. Now, moving on to the Deathsinger, we've got one thing. We swap over to our Gunslinger and put on our Celestial Nighthawk. We're going to rock that out in case we need to deal with the ogres, but Raise Lighter and Memory of Radagast for extra sword ammo is going to be key. That's pretty much all you need to worry about. You only need to worry about the Raise Lighter. If you're shooting enemies with anything other than the Raise Lighter, and you don't shoot with the raised lighter, you just swipe at them. If you're killing enemies with anything other than the raised lighter, you are wasting time. The only time you might want to do anything else other than swing with the raised lighter is whenever you're fighting the Shrieker. That's why I've got a sniper rifle on, because as soon as the Shrieker pops out, we can go ahead and hit the Shrieker with the sniper rifle. Everything else the raise will work for, even these witches. Even if the witches get stupid and trapped in the bubble, you can still take them down with just the raised lighter. But here, like I said, this is the only time I'm really swapping to any other weapon. It's raised the rest of the way. After that, we're clearing out all the rest of the enemies with the sword. Now, if you don't have a raised lighter, your Dark Drinker, that'll work just fine. The Dark Drinker will work just fine. It's still very, very potent. The Boltcaster, Young Wolf's Howl, I would avoid those. I would absolutely avoid those if you don't have any exotic swords at all. All's not lost. You certainly could still use a Gjallarhorn, or if you're really, really feeling froggy, a sleeper simulant, but Gjallarhorn is probably a better option. But raise is just going to work for this entire fight. You definitely don't want to stack up a whole Gjallarhorn party compared to a whole raise party. I would much rather have everybody rock out the raise lighter than everybody rock out a Gjallarhorn, because you can simply take care of all the ads that much faster if you've got a sword. Exotic swords are just so good at clearing out all the ads. So once Deathsingers down, we've got one person left, and that's Crota. And for Crota, just pretend it's year one. Just pretend it's year one, Gjallarhorn, or get out. And you could feel okay in saying that right now, because Gjallarhorn is a quest item. It's very easy to do solo. There is no problem in going through and getting your own Gjallarhorn whenever you want it. Gjallarhorn is my #1 recommendation here. As far as the primary, again, something that has explosive rounds and or Firefly, just to work really well in the very beginning stages. After that, Gjallarhorn is going to be your best friend, mainly because it works really well in getting down the sword bearer. So the sword bearer likes to move around a lot, he likes to hide. Gjallarhorn has that area of effect blast, and it has wolfpack rounds, and even if somehow you fall off the cliff, you can still get your Gjallarhorn shots out. You really don't need to be accurate whenever firing at Crota, just kind of aim and pull the trigger, self-res, and run away. As soon as Crota gets back up, like I said, it's not like you have to charge up like with a sleeper or anything crazy. Just kind of get Crota in your sights, aim quickly, fire, and Gjallarhorn is going to do the rest for you. It is custom made for taking care of Crota. Those are all my recommendations. So in the beginning, we've got a Telesto. That's a little bit of a surprise. Gjallarhorn's going to be a really good friend to you for most encounters, but whenever you get to Deathsinger, please, exotic sword. Raised lighter or the Dark Drinker, they work really well. And we've done a few videos, just a fun one showing all 6 points of view in doing this in a minute 38 as far as the Deathsinger goes. And we've also just kind of talked about where the enemies come from, what everybody's role is. I know some people are still getting stuck on the Deathsinger challenge. Hopefully that ends up helping you out. Everybody's really familiar with Crota. Everybody knows Gjallarhorn and Sword Away. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Crota, and I'll see you around in Destiny. #RaiseAHorn.